Welcome back to Beers and Breakevens. We've got our season reviews coming your way over the next 2 weeks. We're going to go through the great Timmy Williams today. A very, very successful season, mate. I'm very jealous and despise you more now than I ever have.
Yeah, no, appreciate that, mate. No, good to be along for the season recap. Funny enough, we were having a look on the Supercoach website. You can go back and look at your previous season results, and I was sort of checking things out, and I think it might have been my 2019 season. I finished 560th. Bang on what I finished this year. I'm like, out of about 180,000 people, there you go.
It's actually fucking crazy.
Crazy.
You'd rather finish second overall again.
I would, but look, dreams are free.
Yeah, they are, thank Christ, because I would not be paying for that one. Now, what we are going to do, we're going to go through our trades for the season over the next 2 weeks. So we are going to start with Timmy. Now, mate, early in the season, obviously round 2 and round 3, you made 4 trades over those 2 weeks. You did use a boost in round 3. Some players that came into your side: Tamale, Starling, Arthurs, Haas. What stands out for you there, mate?
Yeah, happy with all of them. Seyfarth was the little mid-range I wanted early in the year, and he sort of went all right, but I didn't have any other pressing issues with my team after that first round. Didn't want to burn through too many trades and have another look at players. Got Tamale in, so we know Tamale ended up being one of the cheapies of the year prior to injury, so happy with that one. The Tom Duffy gamble at the start of the season, he was dropped after about 2 or 3 rounds from memory.
I'll take part responsibility for that, to be fair.
Yeah, at least half of it. But, mate, the trade-ins were all fine, but, mate, the one I missed out on, Jackson Purdue. I remember Purdue traded him out round 3 for $257K. He'd started the year obviously playing centre, had scores of 28 and 36 to start. I didn't want to trade him. I just remember having no real sort of issues with my side, and I was like, I had to get in. Jesse Arthurs had started red hot. He's relevant each and every year for some stupid reason, and end up getting Arthurs in, which was fine. He made a bit of money, but Purdue, for people that held on to Purdue early on, mate, he lit up from there.
Round 4 and 5, 4 trades across these 2 weeks. You used another boost in round 5. Just quickly, you happy with the strategy of using your boosts early?
Yeah, 100%. I've done it the last two years now, and I think last 2024 season didn't pan out fantastic, but I don't think it had anything to do with that. It was completely other issues. But yeah, I think the 4 earliest ones, so I had 4 used by round 8, then saved the other one as I always do for post-origin. Yeah, I like the 4 early boosts.
Mate, when I have a look at you in round 5, one trade that you made here, Jaden Campbell, bringing him in, I think he's going to be a guy that I'm going to have in my side moving forward for just about forever.
Yeah, well, top averaging 5'8" in the season, and we were sort of watching. I know it's a lot easier to score points later on in the year, but I remember sitting there, a month or so ago in those final weeks of the year where he did absolutely nothing and he was notching up 50s and 60s at the least without a thing. Like, he's going to be tempting to start with next year.
Looking at round 6, use another boost there, but there is one name in round 6, mate, that really stands out to me as far as a guy that I didn't have that separated us over the next 9 or 10 weeks. Ryan Pappenhausen, you traded him in at $667K. He was worth an absolute mozza a month or 2 later.
Yeah, well, that's it. And Pappy, what'd he go? He went on to he peaked at $850,000. So I'd actually forgotten about the little Pappy play, but yeah, that one was big early on in the year. And the other one, you laughed at me, mate, and called me arsey and this and that. But big Naff White at $550K as a dual. I mean, he's one that you arguably people could have held on to for a big part of the year. But Naff White did wonders early on the year as well. And the other one there, it was actually a pretty significant trading week because got Thomas Canty who made a bit of cash. Nath Cleary came in. Tommy Starling went out though. Tommy Starling's one where I think you held on to him for the entirety of the season. Yeah. At the time, it made complete sense. Like, I think that trade was via Jules, and I went Starling to Cleary. It was completely obvious, but anyone who held Starling in their sort of backup or starting hooker role for the year, that was a huge win.
Yeah, it ended up being a weird year for hookers, and during Origin, he was very valuable. Now, round 8, as we said, you did 5 trades over round 7 and round 8 using another boost in round 8. Geez, you traded some names in there. Drinkwater, Munster, big swinging dicks. Kiraz too, to be fair.
Yeah, a couple of big ones there. Egan, who came in, earned a little bit of money, got injured. Billy Smith, who came in, returning from injury and just meandered for a long, long time. Billy Smith did not achieve too much there, but just having a look. But round 8, Drinky was 702. I think he came on and went on a bit of a tear as well from memory. Yes, when I bring in round 8, he went 3 tons on the trot. And then he had the 14 against Manly up in Townsville. But again, got a good price out of him and ended up keeping him for a long, long time in the season. He had the Tuipulotu injury. Isaiah Yongi was the interesting one there, mate. Cashed him out at $493K. And I know it was a long time ago now, but the big question at the start of the season was 3-gun fullbacks using the flex, or do you go Yongi at fullback? And I think it worked out very, very well. After a bit of a slow start, Yongi ended up being a fantastic pickup and really happy with how that played out.
All right, mate. Round 9, Thomas Kahn. He was traded out of the side at $420K. You brought in Britton Nikora at $555K. You got some sneaky value there, just quietly.
Yeah, for a little bit I did, but in the end, he was tickling really nicely. He opened up for me with 70 and a 76. He sort of held that value because I remember bringing him in with a pretty high break even. And then he had a 30, a 42, a 67. It wasn't until around 15 and 16 that he had back-to-back tons, but bit of a weird year for Britton Nikora. He never really got into his work, did he? Like, he averaged 58 for the year. He averaged 70 the 2 years prior. Just never quite happened for him.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be, like, I know from like a draft perspective next year is a really interesting one. What's his role going to be? I assume he's on the edge, but they just went through a final series with him coming off the bench. Bizarre little one.
Very bizarre.
Interesting. Now, round 10, we were sitting up there at Magic Round watching Fletcher Sharp put on an absolute show, and I believe it was the week after you had to bite the bullet.
Yes. Yeah, one of them ones where it's like swallow the pride and just get him in. He was looking that good. We were at the not at the Caco, actually, that afternoon for a little period. We were at a different pub. Caco was naturally chockers and absolutely rinsed down rain. One of those hectic storms I'd seen came in. We're under a cover watching Fletcher Sharp put on an absolute masterclass. And, yeah, another one who lasted a few weeks, then got injured.
Round 11, without a doubt, the season highlight. This was Connor Tracey Gate. He came in at $617K. Good value, good run. He scored about as many points as I did sitting on the couch in the next 3 weeks. That was a tough little pill to swallow.
Tracey Gate, wasn't that just 2 of the most brutal weeks of all time?
It was about the friends we made along the way, though. All 3 of us going all in on this one.
I feel like we learnt more about who our enemies were than the friends we made.
Yeah, fuck, we copped it.
There were some shots fired. You're like, okay, guys, like no one's ever done a bad trade in their life. It's all right.
There was some serious shots fired during that period. That was fucked.
Yeah, wasn't it? Tough going, that one. Anyway, you and Kat, cowards, jumped off.
Correct.
I stuck strong with him and thankfully he repaid a bit of faith. So the first 2 weeks, 27 and 18, he just like, it was too bad to be true. Then he went 68, 75, 91, 50, 50, 50, 129. So, look, he repaid a bit of faith there.
Now, we already spoke about Britton Nikora, one of the little rogue Sharkies that you had. You brought in another one in round 12. You brought in 2 Sharkies, Fanua Blake, but Jesse Ramien at very low ownership. How many times did you end up using him throughout the year?
Probably had him bench more often than I played him.
Yeah, it was a weird year for Ramien. That whole right edge was a bit of a weird year for them.
They just went left so often.
Yeah.
It's Ramien will continue to be one of the most perplexing Supercoach prospects. He has one of the best base stats for a CT dub. He busts tackles, he offloads a bit. The bloke just never finds major attacking stats and never scores tries. We have the same combo every year. He wasn't bad for me, but he wasn't good.
Yeah, I think he's one of those. I think I traded him in last year, and I remember when I traded him in, you said to me, "Oh, mate, he's a lot like Cam Munster. Looks fantastic. It ticks all the Supercoach boxes you possibly can, but he doesn't find those 100+ scores. I think if you look at the first 12 weeks or so, I think he scored a try in Vegas, and that was about it. He just didn't find the try line.
He scored 2. He scored in round 1.
Yeah.
Played every game all the way, barring 1, through to round 23, and he scored again in round 19.
Jesus Christ.
And then he scored in the final game of the season.
Meanwhile, Iro's fucking scoring a try every 8 minutes.
If Ramien ever ended up like on an edge for a team that like all the attack went through, he'd average 75, 80. But yeah, anyway.
Another big one here, mate. James Tedesco came in. You paid a pretty penny for him, $919K, but it turned out to be the year of James Tedesco. You just had to have him.
Yeah, round 12. So, and he didn't miss a beat all year, did he? So huge money for him there. Had basically 1 to 2 poor weeks in the whole rest of the year. Had a couple of 90s after that into a ton. And it's just one of them ones where a player in a decent side with heaps of attack in them, proven, where you just go, look, no matter what the price, you just got to pay it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, round 5, you traded out Dylan Lucas that week earlier in the season. He went on a little bit of a tear. I remember us having conversations about if you were going to get Lucas back in and whatnot. You ended up getting him back in round 13 at 740K. Did he get injured pretty soon after that, or am I mixing up my dates?
Yeah, because I traded him. When did I trade him? Round 5.
Round 5.
Yeah, because I think he was meant to. He had an injury concern and he was potentially going to come back in round 5 and it might have been ribs or something. And I stuck strong and then he might have done his hammy at training. So I went, cool, cut him.
Yeah.
Brought him back in. Oh, yeah, that was one of the most sickening watches of all time. Panthers. 147.
Yeah, 3 tries or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And he went ballistic because I remember, that was Physiogate. Remember when physio was all in on like how the injury can flare up at any given time and it's too dangerous to go with him. And going into the show, I was bringing him into my team and then I pulled out because physio's like, nah, ticking time bomb or something. And yeah, I mean, we cop stick over Connor Tracey. Phys would still be getting DMs over Dylan Lucas that week. So that was... Yeah, that was a real pain point that I'd actually taken out of my memory up until this point. So, no, this has been fun.
Now, for context here, because I don't remember it, round 13, you trade out Hines, you bring in Hughes. Then in round 15, you trade out Cleary and Munster to bring in Hines and Campbell. Fuck, you made some moves in your halves over those 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was halfback roulette.
Yeah, okay.
So I remember at the time, Cleary was set to miss I remember he missed round 15 due to Origin. Round 16, they were going to New Zealand, and I was like, no way will he play. And you're like, no, family reunion back in New Zealand.
And the family's never been the same. Where are they now? Where are they now? They're on Mad Monday because they let football get in front of family. You'll never see that here at Beers and Breakevens.
No, never. Anyway.
I mean, his son played in the fucking New South Wales Cup Grand Final. He didn't even fucking show up.
Nate didn't go.
No, he was up in Brisbane or something. I don't know. It was on Sunday. Didn't even go to watch his brother in the grand final. That's a family divided. Yeah. I picked this like a dirty fucking nose months ago.
What a dog.
How'd
Jet go in the grand final?
They won.
How'd he
Not
go?
that his father would fucking know.
How'd he go?
No, he came off the bench. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Of course, New South Wales Rugby League scheduled at the same time as prelim, so I didn't get to see it. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Now, I think for me, probably the biggest trade of the back end of your season came in round 18, and one that I was very proud of you for making, Mark Nwanga Nitawase. Now, came in round 18. That was against the West Tigers. You played centre that day. We're at that game, as was the whole SC Playbook community. Absolutely lit it up. And then you had to pick and choose your moments when you were going to play him. And from memory, I think you did that pretty well.
Yeah, I did. Because the week at the Playbook catch-up, he turned up, scored a try late, and then he bounced back after the 2 weeks following with 32 and 34. And it was around about the time that Sammy Walker came back, and you could just see they weren't getting the ball. So, like, he went 32, 34, 47, 42, ton, 35, 81, 158, 130. But, yeah, aside from maybe the first week or two post those tons, I got my sit v starts with him very well right. So that was a big one. And mate, that wasn't even the biggest trade that weekend. I only made one. Nwanga Nitawase in. Charlie Geimer out. Geimer was like languishing in cup. I think a week later he was a starting back row punching out the best base in the game. That one ended up hurting a bit.
Yeah, big time. That was one of the few advantages I had over you that didn't matter in the fucking slightest. But yeah, Geimer ended up making a bit of coin. We then move to the run home, round 19, mate. You used your final boost this week. Out, Tracey, Smith, I assume Sandon Smith and... Billy Smith. And then you brought in Grant, Lomax and Rinakama. Big moves there.
Yes. Billy Smith, I don't think I'm going to ever own that bloke again. He just, for some reason, doesn't do it.
You'll be fucking back. We all will.
Yeah, Grant in for the run home. So it actually worked out my hookers in the back end of the season. So brought Grant in then and I was able to run him and... Would I have had 3 Smiths? No, I had Sandon Smith for ages. 3 Smiths. Billy? I don't know. Sandon?
Who's the other
Smith?
one? You wouldn't have had Brandon Smith.
Didn't have Lindsay Smith.
Didn't have Lindsay Smith. I don't know who else you would have had.
Anyway. Yeah, worked out well.
Oh, you had Riley Smith.
Riley Smith.
Yes.
Yes, it was Riley Smith out. Held on to Sandon.
Round 20, Brown out. I assume that's Dill Brown. That was when Centregate and all that sort of shit happened, where he was playing. Where his 18th man was on the side. Tanner Boyd came in. Do you remember the context around that one? Was Tanner Boyd just set to make cash being the Warriors halfback, was he?
I think Brown got benched.
Yep.
Luke Metcalf got injured. Boyd had I don't know if I did sight unseen if he'd played a week or not, but
he scored 75 in week 1, so you might have had a good little break even to look at.
So brought him in. I know it was early by a week, just 'cause I thought he had a somewhat locked spot there, and he actually ended up being outstanding the back end of the year. I never had to play him because I think I had Munster or someone in there at Munster at 5'8", but he ended up having a really good back end of the season, Tanner Boyd.
Yeah, he did. If you have a look, especially the last 3 weeks, he went 70, 87, 71. So for a guy that you were paying $300K for, very, very juicy there, Tanner Boyd. The week after that, obviously, Pappy, Lucas, both suffered injuries and whatnot. They were out. Angus Crichton and Dylan Edwards, which was one that we tinkered with very, very heavily. I think I went against. I think you went for. How did that one sort of play out?
That was... So it was the week after you got 173.
Yeah, we chased, didn't we?
Yeah, we chased. I can't remember the context, but I think we were all very tempted to go home. I went in a different direction that week prior, and he came out and just put on a masterclass. Yeah, that one stung quite bad, didn't it?
Round 22, I completely forgot you had Isaiah Yeo in your side.
Didn't work out very well. Not a knock on Isaiah Yeo. Well, it was a knock on Isaiah Yeo. He had might have been a concussion, or he got injured and ended up missing a few weeks, and they were like, I'll be back next week. No, I'll be back next week. No, I'll be back next week.
Yep.
So, yeah, didn't do great things for me either, Isaiah Yeo, but it was because he wasn't on the field.
The other guy did all right, Nath Cleary. Good time to bring him in.
Great time, isn't it? Yeah, Nath did well.
Jeez, Nath Cleary into Payne Haas the week after. Huge.
Well, how's Edwards and Crichton, Cleary and Yeo, Haas. Yeah.
Now, towards the back end of the season, mate, you made some big plays. Round 25, you brought in Taylor May. I can't remember the exact games he went nuts, but I feel like you brought him in for the Leichhardt game where he went enormous, didn't you?
Yeah, brought Taylor in at a good time, and the update king as well. Got back-to-back tons from him as well.
Huge.
Yeah, back-to-back tons. And the other one, mate, he skipped over the week before, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. He was my little Potterella off the back end of the season, was fantastic.
Oh, both your Sharkies boys out in round 24, Ramian and Nikita.
Sharkies boys did not do much for me this year, I'll be honest.
Thanks for coming. Yeah. And then the last 2 weeks, some big fullback moves here. Reece Walsh in round 26, your boy, it was always going to happen, and Tommy Turbo. From memory, Walsh went enormous those 2 weeks. How'd Turbo go?
I only brought Turbo in for round 27. He scored like 45.
That's
but
right.
Remember, everyone was tossing him against the Warriors at home in Manly, or going with Edwards against the Dragons. And Edwards got like 30 or something, and Turbo was about 40, so it didn't really change much. And yeah, Walsh was the one I really wanted to bring him in at that time when we ended up getting Edwards and chasing those points. And Walsh obviously went ballistic. I got him for a few weeks. You went against him.
Yeah, I went against him. Yeah, he went enormous. In no shock to anyone when I didn't pick him. Good to see. So where'd you finish this season again, mate?
560th, mate. And reflecting on all of that, it sounded like there was a lot more negativity and bad moves than good ones. But look, the ranking was good,
didn't it? Like this, it felt like you got a lot. Not got a lot. It felt like a lot of things went against you throughout the year, which I'm sure is the same with everyone. But to still finish 560 when. And I mean, the one name that we didn't mention, just because it didn't appear on the list, the one thing that did go your way at some point in the season was not having Herbie Farnworth. Just as you were ready to bite that bullet, I think from memory, he did get injured.
Yeah, I was contemplating it because they had a bye into the Warriors, and I was thinking after that Warriors game, I think the draw got quite soft. I was like, I nearly have to have him for that. So that absolutely went my way.
I think he was on 90 after 20 minutes, and he did his hamstring. And I remember I was at a Root Crew event with everyone cheering against you, and then it just went dead fucking silent. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that one I'll take.
But yeah, it would have been interesting if you would have had Herbie for that run that everyone was getting 80, 90 points every week, how far you would have got. Anyway. But all easy in hindsight. Anything else, mate?
All good, mate. Good little short, sharp recap.
Yeah, come back next week for my shit show of a side. That'll be a good little fucking clown act for all of you at home. Thanks for joining us once again on Beers and Breakevens.